Shay Bays, it's your girl Simply Shay. Listen, I am super excited for this video. This is our first video of my segment Ladies Corner. Without further ado, let's go. I kind of want to start by explaining to you guys what Ladies Corner is. So just like I said, I wanted my entire page just to be a safe space for everybody. Ladies Corner is just a sprinkle of extra safe space for us ladies. It's a space where we can kind of talk a little bit more freely, talk more about topics that are geared specifically to women, and just even a woman's point of view on certain topics that can be universal. Guys, before you get upset, I'm not saying that you all can't watch it, because you can. You know, I understand. You may want to understand your ladies better, your sister better, your mama better. I get it, so you guys can watch it too. But just know and understand, when you click on this video for Ladies Corner, it's gonna be Ladies Corner, okay? So just getting into the meat of the video, what I kind of want to talk to you guys about on today is finding beauty in brokenness. And I know you're probably thinking, oh my god, it's so cliche, oh my god, people are always talking about beauty and the brokenness, there's a whole song about it. But it's something that's important, because yet and still, even though people are always talking about it, you have songs about it, we still have so many broken young ladies and even broken older ladies. And again, guys, before you jump down my throat, I'm not saying we don't have broken men out there. I'm not saying my fellas don't need a little extra love sometimes. I understand you guys have issues too, but I'm only a lady. So I can only really give to the ladies. I'm sure that I can say something a little here and there that can, be general, but specifically, like, I can really only speak to the ladies. So don't beat me up. But ladies, so getting into talking about that beauty and brokenness, the way God broke it down to me, he broke it down to me first on a physical level. Taught me how to first understand it on a physical level. And so ladies, when we think about our things like our skincare routines and our hair regimens and diets and different things like that, all of those are things that we do to help our natural body. When we see a pimple pop up, we're like, oh my god, have I been drinking water or soda? Oh my god, did I wash my face today? When we feel bloated, oh my god, what did I eat? What can I do? Man, what's a natural remedy to solve bloating? Oh my god, my hair is dry. How can I whip up a concoction in my kitchen to, form a hair mask for this? And we're so quick to correct those things that our physical body does to show us that something's wrong, to show us, hey, you haven't been giving me enough water, so now here it is, it's showing on your face. Hey, no, you haven't been eating right, so now you got a little extra love. Hey, no, you haven't really been taking care of me, so now I'm broken and dry. And just like our body shows us these things and can create these signs, so can our spirit being, so can our spirit man, the Holy Spirit within us. When we get lax on our praying, when we get lax in talking to God, when we get to a place where even we give someone else more power and more of our attention than we do God, and taking care of our spiritual life, it begins to show signs. And it may not be the same sign as a pimple or bloating or anything like that, but you begin to feel irritable. You begin to feel void. You begin to feel depressed. You begin to feel a mix of emotions. You know what I mean? I know for me, I can always tell when my prayer life isn't where it needs to be, or when I haven't been talking to God like I need to, because I begin to feel just like suppressed and compressed by everything around me. I begin to feel everything around me, the stress of everything, like the weight of the world is on my shoulders. And the moment I get in my prayer closet, the moment I'm like, oh man, Lord, I'm sorry I ain't talked to you in a minute, or I'm sorry I ain't talked to you today. The moment, I take that time and get my spirit man back right, I'm back, in an uplifted place. I'm back in a place where I can manage. I'm back, in a place where I'm like, okay, hey, I've drunk in my water, now this pimple has gone down. Okay, I started exercising, now I'm starting to get a little thick. Just different things like that. You got to be able to think about it how you can understand it. If you understand it better by thinking about it in that physical, then you got to be able to do that. And I just know I love Sarah Jakes Roberts. That is someone that I completely love. I listen to her podcast all the time. And she did a podcast entitled The Place of Need. And it was talking, in a way about brokenness. It was talking about how we as people get to a place where we become comfortable with not having what we need. We begin to get comfortable with not having love in our life, with not having comfort in our life, with not having peace in our life, with not having joy in our life, with not having things that are actually a need for us. We begin to get in a place where we think that it's normal not to have them. And we miss the fact that most of the time when you are in a trial or in a place where you feel lonely or in a place where you feel depressed or anything like that, a lot of times it's a trial, a lot of times it's a test, a lot of times it's God trying to see how much you love me and care about me, how much do you really mean what it is that you're saying to me. But also sometimes it's positions that we put ourselves in by not taking care of our spiritual body. Sometimes our brokenness, sometimes our need, sometimes the void that's inside of us is prolonged because of the fact that we don't recognize the symptoms. Because we don't recognize the symptoms. Because we don't recognize, okay, man, my spirit is showing me that it needs a little bit more water. Man, my spirit is showing me it needs a little bit more prayer time. My spirit is showing me it needs a little bit more fasting. I've been feeling anxious. Man, I really should listen more to gospel music. Man, I really should feed my spirit like I feed my body. And when we begin to think about it from that aspect, that's when you get into being able to heal your brokenness. That's when you get being able to take control of that brokenness and then grab hold of that need. Then grab hold of that need. Then you get to a place where you're able to say, okay, God, yes, I understand that in this season it was meant for me to just be me and you. Yes, in this season I had to go through depression. I had to go through heartache. I had to go through anxiety. I had to go through poverty. I had to go through this. I had to go through that in order to get the lesson. But now, God, I have a need. Now, God, I have a void. Now, God, I have a brokenness about me. And in that brokenness, we too have to understand that when God breaks us, when God allows us to be broken by something, whether it's a person, an event, no matter what it is, when God allows us to be broken by something, it's never to hurt us. When God allows things to come and break down the person that we thought we were, it's never to hurt us. It's never because he don't like us or he don't love us. It's because what he's doing is breaking off the pieces that aren't meant to be there. He's breaking off the weakness that isn't meant to be there. He's breaking off the flesh that isn't meant to be there. He's breaking off the Shaylon that isn't meant to be there. He's breaking off those things. But you also have to understand that we serve a God that just as much as he breaks off of us, just as much as he takes away, just as many cracks as he makes, he then comes in and fills those cracks. He then comes in and adds in those pieces with what he wanted to be there. And that's how we prolong our brokenness. That's how the pimples stay on our faces when we see them come, but don't drink water. We continue to drink soda. We see them come, but don't start washing our face. We start to feel the tiredness, but don't, make sure that we're eating fruits, making sure we're eating vegetables. We see that our hair needs a trim, but we continue just to let our ends continue to get split. We feel the void within us, but we continue to try and instead of filling it with God, with sex, with drugs, with this one, with that one, with alcohol, with sleep. A lot of us don't realize and understand that sleeping all the time, being in that stage where it's just like, I just don't want to do anything, that's a form of depression. We don't understand that when we don't take the time to deal with our spirit man, to take care of our spirit man, all you're doing is prolonging your brokenness. All you're doing is saying, God, I know I'm broken, but at this point, nobody isn't going to be able to fix me. You can't do it. God, I know that I'm broken. I know that I have this void, and I acknowledge that it's there, but I don't trust you enough to fix it. I'd rather trust him. I'd rather trust Sheila. I'd rather trust this one. I'd rather trust that. I'd rather trust the drugs. I'd rather trust they make me not feel. That's not the point. That's not the point. The point of the brokenness is to remove. The point of the brokenness, the point of the breaking down is to start the process of renewal. Is to start the process of growth. That's the point of breaking down. Is to remove, is to renew. And we have to understand that we can't pray or ask God to remove things from us and not put something back in its place. And please do not think that I'm saying that this is easy. Please do not think that I am saying that, it's easy to be in a place of brokenness and understand that that's the place in the season that you're in. That it's easy to be in the place of brokenness and be able just to speak your way out of it, because it's not. Because when I was in my season of brokenness, when I was in my many seasons, of brokenness, of, just feeling like, oh my goodness, the weight of the world is on my shoulders, lonely, and Lord, how I'm going to do this, and how is this going to work, and what's going to happen with this, and God, I'm stressed about that, and Lord, I feel just so empty inside. It was hard. I was like, whoa. Really like this. So what? Am I supposed to feel like this? Is supposed to be going on? You know what I mean? It definitely is one thing to talk about it, but it's another to be in it. But that is the reason and the purpose behind me taking the time to make these videos. The meaning and the purpose behind me taking the time to explain to you guys what got me through. To explain to you guys how you can get through, and also to use as a reference for while you're in it to continue to keep watching, can continue to keep listening. Just like I love Sarah Jakes Roberts. Every time I listen to one of her messages, it's always an on-time message. It's always something, that I needed to hear. It's always something that I needed to get. And so it's the same thing even with my videos, that hey, I want this to be something that later on, even if right now you aren't broken, even if right now you can't receive what I'm saying, I want you to be able to go back. I want you to be able to go back. You know what? I think Shaylon made a video about this. I think there's a video on Simply Shay's page about this. Let me do. Man, I really needed to hear this. And it's 2 years later. That is the whole purpose of Simply Shay. The whole purpose of me taking the time, and even God giving me the vision to be able to provide something for you guys to be able to look to provide something for you all to be able to pull from in your brokenness, in your moment of weakness, in your moment where you can't give yourself the word. Because I know that had it not been for who God made me, had it not been for the strength and the faith in him that he placed in me, I would not have been able to talk myself out of the things that I've talked myself out of. Everybody doesn't have that skill, and everybody doesn't have that gift or that grace to be able to talk themselves out of it. And let me even go a step further, everybody doesn't even have the cross to bear to have to talk themselves out of it. That has been my personal cross. That in most everything that I've gone through in life, not saying that people weren't there, But in the time where I really was at my breaking point, in the time where I was really at a place where I'm just like, Lord, I'm done. You can have it. I'm not doing this anymore. Just take it. Like, it's fine. I don't want to do this anymore. I had to talk myself down from the ledge. The Holy Spirit in me, let me correct myself. The Holy Spirit in me had to rise up. Had to say, no, you are a child of the Most High King. Do you know who your daddy is? Do you know who he called you to be? Do you understand? Do you see what's going on around you? You better stand up and get up. Dust yourself off. Yeah, you're broken, but let's go ahead and let's go to the potter, get on his wheel, and let him put you back together the correct way. Because he broke you because you had Shaylon here, flesh here, world here, mama here, this one here. And none of the pieces was things that he wanted there. None of the things was pieces that he put there. So yeah, he had to break it off, sand it down, remove this, chip this away. Because it makes no sense to put something new over something old. Why would you put new wine in old wineskins? So understand that I love you guys, that I understand that when you are broken, when you are in the lowest of lows places, when you are in a place where you feel just numb and like it won't get better, that it always gets better. That anytime God has to break you, it is always to make you better. I would not be standing before you guys, the woman that I am today, had it not been for the way God broke me. And I didn't see it that way at the time. I didn't understand it for what it was at the time. I didn't accept it for what it was at the time. But once I embraced the brokenness and then allowed him to put the correct pieces back together, there are times where I don't even recognize myself. There are times where I hear myself talking about something, or I'm editing my videos and I'm just like, where did this person come from? Whoa, what happened? Or something, even will happen, and instead of getting angry like I used to, getting emotional like I used to, crying, or feeling a certain type of way, I find myself just saying, well, God, have your way. Well, God, I thank you. Or it doesn't faze me at all. And I know that came from nothing but God. It came from the breaking. It came, from that tearing down. It came from the removing of Shaylon. And that's all that God is trying to do when he breaks us. He's trying to remove the gunk. He's trying to clean the pipes. So that everything can flow just the way that he wanted it to be. So ladies, continue to stay encouraged. Continue to stay just humbled in your time of brokenness. Continue to stay teachable in your time of brokenness. And continue to stay open in your time of brokenness. Don't fill those voids with anything but God. Don't fill those voids with sex, with drugs, with anything else. Food, because I love to eat. But don't fill those voids with food, anything like that. Take that time of your brokenness. Take that time in loneliness. Take that time, where you just feel and get to know God better. Because I guarantee you, in getting to know God better, you are going to open up a completely different version of yourself that you're not going to be able to help but to love. So that is all I have for you guys today. I hope that I helped some of you guys. I hope that I said something that sparked something in you guys. Listen, remember, you guys can email me, you guys can DM me, you guys can comment some topics that you guys want to hear, and I am all ears. Remember, ladies, continue to glow and grow. Bye.